Hey, Philip here. Working on the 54 GMC, doing some upgrades, safety upgrades, and equipment upgrades. Today we're going to be working on the Altman Easy Latches for the 54. As you see, I've taken all the door latch stuff out. I've also taken the door off the truck. That's because I'm also replacing the hinges and doing some other stuff. But while it's off, I'm going to work on the Altman Easy Latches. I will have to say, as a novice, this is probably one of the scariest things for me, cutting on 72-year-old doors. The kit makes it look like it's easy, and in the videos I've watched and in studying and getting ready to do this, it seems like it's pretty straightforward. But I will have to say it is pretty scary. I've got the kit down here on the floor below me. It seems pretty complete. Like I said, everything I've seen on the internet and seen on YouTube makes it look like it's something I can do. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited for that single finger latch when I close the door, not having to slam it 3 or 4 times and, potentially damaging the door or the truck. So I've already, before the video, I went ahead and cut out the templates that come with it. They also give you a QR code, so that if you mess up the templates, you can print another one. But these do come in the kit. Pretty straightforward on where you got to line them up. I got to figure out the directions there. But the big one goes here, small one goes with this hole, and basically you trace out and then cut out. And I'm going to do it with a Dremel cutoff. I'm going to go slow and steady on this. Take my time. What do they say? Measure once, cut, or measure twice, cut once. That's not measure once and cut twice. But yeah, really excited. I think I'm going to do the trick where you turn the actuator over so that the bar stays here. I don't know yet. I haven't decided on that, or if I'm still going to leave it in the original position. But these were still in pretty good shape, so I'm going to reuse those. But yeah, here we go. All right, ended up using a chalk writer. Door was black. I thought my little gold Sharpie would show up enough, but it didn't, so I ended up having to convert to that. But I think that gives me, I was able to kind of paint the edge of the paper, give myself a real good line. I'm not gonna lie, this is scary, because I screwed this up. It's expensive to get another door, and I don't know that another door would necessarily fit this truck. The fitment of the newer stuff, or even a used thing, they're all, they age. This door went with this truck. It's flexed. It's moved with this truck. It's conformed to this truck. But yeah, I think my first cut I'm going to do is this one, since it's not as critical. It's mainly where the strap goes in to the backside from the pivot piece here. So that's what I'm going to do, cut first, just for my trial and error. God, it's scary to say trial and error. All right, not so bad for a novice, I don't think. I'm sure it's going to take a little bit of cleaning up, maybe some hand filing, but that was the results of the after. I've still got to cut that side. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, well, I'm fixing to make this cut here. Probably one of the scariest cuts I've had to make. I don't think there's any turning back if you cut this off, but here we go for improvement. All right, well, it started wiggling, so I'm thinking it's pretty loose. I did cut away from the line pretty liberally so I can go back and grind it on fitment. Oh, yeah. It is coming off. Well, I might have a second layer I got to cut through underneath. The outer skin's off. Oh, I might not have cut a whole bunch on the inner skin. It's pretty solid in there. Yep, I got some more cutting to do. So, back to the time lapse. All right, I was in the time lapse and it moved on me and I didn't expect it to, so we're just gonna. Well, there you go. It is done. No, I gotta work on that little knob right there. That's one of the instructions for fitment. I'm just curious. If I can even line up a latch right now. I don't think this is not the right one. Gotta get the other one. There we go. But that will sit there about like that. I'm excited. That actually fits in. Let me get that. I actually thought it fell to the bottom of the door. It didn't. It just fell right here. All right. But that will fit in that little hole right there. I'm sure I'll have to do some fitment tests and stuff, but it is in. I'm excited. Yay. All right. I think the next step is to start doing fitment and testing. Make sure it'll fit here before I worry about the latches. I'm waiting on the I'm waiting on the hinges for my door. Hopefully they'll be in Monday or earlier next week. And I'll be able to remount my doors and then start doing alignment. But that's pretty exciting right there. All right. So off camera, I did a little filing on my cuts, make them where they're not so dangerous. Me sticking my hands in there, smooth some of the stuff out where I had some rough cuts. I also took my plate, stuck it up there, marked where my holes go, in the little access panel down here. My next step is I'm going to drill the holes and start doing some fitting stuff up there, putting the actuator back in, getting the bars lined up. I don't know if I'm going to do the trick where I turn it upside down using, this is the driver's door, where you use the passenger side one and turn it upside down so the bar's level, or just go ahead and use the one that's supposed to be here and just have the bar come across. I kind of like the bar in the channel idea, but I'm going to play with that here in a few minutes. But here we go. We're fixing to drill some holes. All right, so I've drilled my holes. Just going to kind of line them up here and see how I did. Might have to work on this one down here just a little bit. This is a factory hole, and I think I just need to kind of waller the bottom of it out just a little bit. So I'm going to change bits here. Do that real quick. Line that back up and look at it. Oh yeah, that looks much better. All right, we're going to do some test fitting here. Might do that off camera. May do it just in a time lapse because it's going to take a minute. But to make sure this all lines up, I can get stuff in all the screw holes, clean up some of the back side of these holes where they're a little bit sharp. And I'll be back with you in a minute. All right, as you see, I've got it on there. I don't have everything tightened down. Screws are still loose. But everything lines up. Something else I did do that I didn't necessarily tell you in the last little segment was the strap that comes down the window channel. It's got a little bump there you have to shave off. I went ahead and took care of that. That's further down in the instructions, but I went ahead and did it now because all this ends up getting mounted up, and it's a step that it tells you to do to shave that bump off before you put the track back in. I'm not doing that. I've just basically removed the 2 bottom screws down here so I can move it out of the way to get stuff in and out. So make sure if you're doing like me where you're not removing the window channel, go ahead and shave that nub that's right there off, because apparently it will interfere with the lock mechanism and hang it up, and you don't want that. You don't want to be where your lock is hung open or hung closed or whatever. So anyways, real proud of my job there with the drilling the holes and getting the fitment. Gonna read the instructions, see what's next. I'm hoping it's kind of putting the door back together. If it is, we'll put everything in, make sure everything fits, and I may end up taking this part of it back off and paint it, just so this doesn't rust any. I've seen guys that have left them and they've kind of rusted up a little bit or whatever, but I think I'm gonna just paint mine black, make it kind of fade into the door. All right, check back with you shortly. All right, before you mount these back in, you're going to need to cut this off or grind that off so you can use the new Altman latches, which will, I think I've got the wrong one here, go inside here. Because these are typically pop riveted on. If you've got one where somebody's modified it and already put a screw and nut and bolt in there, you can undo it. But this one is pop riveted in there, so I'm going to have to kind of just shave the head off to get this arm off, because you will be reusing this part right here. All right. All right, this is what it looks like at the end. Basically, I just shaved the top of that other rivet off, pulled the little arm off, not the rest of the rivet out, and this is what will go here. Now, I may end up switching sides with these, just because it does kind of make it nice where the channel's in here, but I do know that once you do that, you've got to do some modifications with, that's not the right one again. You've got to do some modifications with this, because I think they've pretty much figured out the stuff to be on this angle. You may have to put a bend down here. So I may just end up putting it back in its same spot, because that's the way Chevrolet did it for some reason, and I think I'll just put it back that way. But yeah, that part's done. Now we're going to start mounting stuff back in there and see if we can get everything to fit. I think I'll do that in a time lapse. If I run into any problems or anything, I'll come back on here and talk to y'all about it. All right, nothing is tightened down. Everything is finger tight. But it's in there. I went ahead and kept this in this position. As you see, I mean, nothing is tightened. It all works. Couple of things. Once you mount this plate, if you've left your window channel in there, this is going to have to kind of wrap around and come up that way to get it in. I found that's the best way to do that. But, I mean, everything works. That's open. That's closed. That opens. That's closed. Reach in and hit the button. I do not have the door handle outside, so I'm actually hitting the pressure thing in there. I might go back and make this hole a little bit bigger just so it's easier to attach the rod. Like I said, everything is just finger tight. It's got little nylon, not the lock nuts, that I just finger tighted on there just to make sure everything lined up and worked. Everything does. I'm super stoked. If you saw my intro video, you know I'm got hinges on the way for this door, or for both my doors. That's why it's not currently in the truck. Or I'd probably be trying to close it and mount, line stuff up, but I'm waiting for that to come in next week, or this coming week. But I'm super stoked. Everything works as should. Um, like I said, nothing is tight. It's all, as you can see, it's all loose, but it works. I'm stoked. I can't wait to finish this install and have my doors latch and be safe and not fly open going around curves, or having to do the slam of shame multiple times to get them to latch. I'm stoked. All right, I think I'm going to leave this video right here. Like I said, everything's only finger tight in here. I do plan on going back and painting, because I can already see where some of my fingerprints are starting to cause a little surface rust. Going to paint this. Got to grease the inside lock. Got to get everything tight, past finger tight. Also work on the passenger side door, which I'm going to do off camera, and then I'll probably join back in this little evolution in the next video, or the next video you see these doors will be hanging the hinges, getting everything lined up, and doing an actual function test on everything, to the point where doors are good. Other things I'm going to do to the door, I do have to do some upholstery to it. I don't know. I think I'm going back with just like a factory style door panel or door card or whatever you want to call it. Gonna sand and paint this. I have a speaker hole here that the speaker's going back in. I do have, I don't know if you can see it in the video down there, the service port. I have that panel to go back over it. But basically, essentially, the doors are done, short of upholstery, paint, getting everything set in there for the final time, and hanging them back with the hinges once they get here. This has been a learning experience. I'm not an expert at this. I'm learning as I do this, as I'm doing it on video. You're seeing me do it for the first time. So it's been fun. I'm expanding my abilities here. I will definitely say that part of owning a classic vehicle is learning how to work on them, and this has been fun. This is, they're great companies like Altman that make these upgraded latches. Do make it easier, improving the vehicles. Other things I'm doing in the vehicles, the sound abatement. Like I said, the interior, gas gauge has got to be fixed. There's some wiring under the dash that needs updating and correcting. Back window and seal need to be put in. The holes in the cowl where the windshield wipers stick out, I've got to do something with them to kind of weatherproof the vehicle a little bit better. Some people have given me some ideas on those. I just need to try some ideas and see what I like. Those are future videos. Once again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Like and follow. I'll have more videos coming out. Thank you.